I'm going to show you how to change the oil in a dirt bike. All you're going to need is you're going to need the wrench. My oil bolt is a 17 millimeter. You're going to need that. You're going to need a dirty rag that you can clean up stuff with. You're going to need a place to put the oil, an oil pan. You're going to need a funnel to re-put the oil back in there. And of course you're going to need your oil. So, step one you're going to need to do is warm up the bike. Alright, let's warm up the bike. Alright, so for this, all you're going to need to do is start your bike just like normal. And yeah. Let it ride for a little bit. With the oil or the oil a little bit hot. And then you feel for it how warm it is. Alright, so that's about warming up. And then now I will show you the next step. So the next step is get some newspaper. Newspaper just like this. Just lay it down just so that way, you know, just in case you have a little bit of an oil spill, the BP won't get mad at you. Just kidding. Yeah, so lay that down and then get your oil pan or oil and then set that to the side for now. What we're going to do first is take your wrench and find which bolt it is. So you might be wondering, is it that one? Is it that one? Is it that one? Or where is it? So it's typically a bigger bolt located more so towards the front of the engine. So you can see it's right there. So it's typically located more towards the front of the engine. Now if it's a vertical engine, I'll show you that now. Alright, it's for a quad like this. As you can tell, it's got that little bolt right there, right above the exhaust port. That is not the oil. No. Make sure that if you're trying to change the oil on these things, make sure that it's always on the crankcase. So that's the crankcase, and there's one there, and there's also one there. And it's always the one in the center. It's typically the biggest one too, but make sure it's always on the crankcase and never that one. If you try to change the oil with that, you're gonna get nowhere. Alright, hope this tip helped. Alright, now that you know what a quad engine looks like, or an ATV, or a vertical engine, what you're gonna need to do is grab your socket, or your wrenches or whatever, put it on there, and pop it off, pop the seal, and then this will just start to come out freely, just like this. Once it gets pretty loose in there, you're just going to slide over your oil pan, and then
same city as a B.I.G. Wanna serve these bars, got CID. Now I'm on a radar where B.I.B. Was a slave for the cause, then we got free. Used to only wanna pull up in the
and then let this sit until it's just barely dripping. Alright, so now that you have let this sit out here for probably like 5-10 minutes, what you're going to need to do next is, it's just barely dripping like that. So that's when you just take your handy dandy rag and you just move this out of the way to the side. And you just clean up around all the edges and everything. Make sure it's pretty nice in there. Also make sure the bolt is clean. It's relatively clean. It's clean enough. Alright, and then you're just gonna put the bolt back up in there.
Be high on that medical, thinking I won't, better know that I bet I do, y'all. Kill 'em, ooh. Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. We them outsiders, that's just how we live it. Say I won't. And I bet I will. You can say I won't.
That, take 17 millimeter and snap that back onto place, just like that. So the next thing you're gonna do, you're just gonna take your funnel, put it in the oil. See, so the dipstick was in there, so you just take the dipstick out, throw that off the side, and then you get this wedged in there nicely, just like that. Alright, and then you're just gonna start chugging that stuff in there. Now tip the bike so it's flat. This will give you a better, more accurate oil rating. So you're just gonna tip it over, let it sit for a couple minutes, or not, a couple seconds, and then you're going to take out the dipstick again, and then you're gonna look. See. So right now it's pretty good. We're good at where we're at. Because as long as you're in between the two lines, then you're pretty good to go. As long as you're, yeah. So, that looks pretty good. So now we're going to start her up and gotta warm up the engine for 2 to 3 minutes. And then just let it